Hey folks, it's Lance from JR Jeep. I hope you're doing really well. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. It's Monday, the last Monday of June. Summer's going way too fast. Just thinking about the way this month's gone, I'm just going, yeah, why doesn't it ever seem winter can go that fast? Especially at my neck of the woods when you can't really do anything. I would really love it to be a little faster, but shouldn't wish life away either, so I'll look at it that way. Anyways, folks, why I'm here today is a second installment of, we have Amazon days coming up, and I thought I'd share some items I've purchased through Amazon personally and I like and use, and that are currently on deal with them, so that you can peruse them, see if this is something you would need as an addition, be it camping, overlanding, or just jeeping in general. That'd be helpful for you. So let's get into it. So my first thing here today is the Fiskars X7, and this is a small hatchet that comes in its own enclosure that basically protects the blade. You swing that out, the blade becomes available. I got this, and I can't say I bought it because I got it as a Christmas present, but it was on my wish list. So it was something I wanted. I like the weight of it. I like the compactness of it. This I wanted to be in camp for when I'm cutting up kindling, things of that nature, to get a fire started. I thought this would be perfect. And it so happens it did work out that way. When I was at the Tigerton OHB about a little over a month ago, the fire pit was a little wet, and we'll talk about that because the first day I couldn't use it, but the second day I did get it going and use this to cut up kindling and that, which made it a lot easier. Also kind of cut some ends off the firewood I used to help just with in general. As far as the X7 Hatchet is concerned, that is currently marked down 20%. It was normally $43.99. I think whoever bought for me paid more than that at the time because this was Christmas last year. But it's currently marked down to $34.98. So that's a great value for that hatchet. And I think you'll like it in your lineup. I found it to be very handy. It's very sharp off the snide. It's not hard to sharpen those. Just have a good stone. I was a chef by trade, so I'm used to sharpening knives and that. It's not that much of a hassle if you have a good kit or stones to do that. We all know that recovery gear is very important, especially if we're off-roading. Overlanding, maybe not so much, but if you're off-roading, especially if you're by yourself, you want to have a lot of options taken care of so that you can get out of maybe sticky situations, or even if you're just with another person. So I've always felt like I've added enough stuff to my Jeep and gotten enough recovery gear that it would be beneficial if I ran into an issue. The one thing I didn't have, while I have rear D-rings on my bumper, I did not have a rear hitch pin solution. So this one is by Nilight Shackle Hitch Receiver. It's a 2-inch, 4,500 pound braking strength. This I haven't used this yet, but it seems very well built, very impressive. It does come with a hitch pin as well. I bought this for the situations where you might have to get pulled out of something, say a mud hole or something from somebody behind you. This will center it as opposed to using the side D-rings. So I think this is always a good option to have in your vehicle for those situations. Or even maybe you have to pull somebody out from front. You're not going to be using your winch. Maybe you're using a connect rope. That would be a good option for that as well. So these are currently on Amazon is a deal, limited time deal. It is 21% off which took it down from the market price of $37.99 to $29.97. So not a bad deal. It does also have free overnight shipping. So something as an Amazon member we can take advantage of. So if you're interested in that, definitely take a look. I think it would be a great addition to your recovery gear. So the thing I mentioned earlier is that the first night I was there, due to the wetness and that, I couldn't get the fire going. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So I did bring my fire pit to do that. And something I bought about 2 years ago now was the Ignik FireCan and the 0.5 gallon cylinder to use with it. So I'm going to show you those both. They worked out really well. I was surprised with how much heat the fire pit would throw off. My only thought would be, because it is on the smaller side, if you had shielding or something on one side, it might help a little bit. Totally something that would be optional. If you're going to run it long term, you might need a bigger propane can, you know, because if you're running at a higher rate, it's going to burn it through the fuel pretty quick. But let's go into it. This is what they call the Ignik Refillable Gas Growler. So these come in a number of colors. I'm pretty, I shouldn't say plain Jane, but maybe I am. I chose a black one. Just tends to be what I like. So when you open this up, first thing you're going to notice on the top here is they do give you the gas line with it in a regulator. The unit is packed in here pretty nice. I'm not going to lift it all the way out, but I can show you a little bit. So that's what it looks like. One thing of note, when you buy these, which I found out inadvertently, is when you buy one online, you will probably have to have it before filled, purged. So there isn't, at least in my area, there wasn't a ton of places that did that. The one place I found out after doing a little research was Tractor Supply companies do it. And they also refill. Because the place I took it to refill doesn't, which was a U-Haul. So I did go out to Tractor Supply. It isn't that long of a procedure. They don't charge for that. And then they refill the can. The can was dirt cheap to fill. I mean, it was like less than $4. So, in fact, that reminds me I have to have this filled again for my trip coming up in a couple weeks. So that is an ultra nice unit. Right now, they are normally $129.95. It is currently going for $97.46. So it's 25% off the price. Free shipping as always with Amazon, so you can have it in a few days. It wouldn't be next day, but it'd be a couple days. So if you are planning a trip and you want to get one of these, you might want to plan ahead and think about ordering it now. As I did mention, they do come in different colors, so if you don't like the black like I like, you definitely find other options that might be more attuned to your style or whatever. But that was what I had. So now let's go into what I hitched this up to. So you see I have this wrapped in plastic. That's because I had now used it. So it will have soot on it in that. But here we have the Ignik FireCan. This does have legs on it. Which do fold out and can lock in place. The lid basically unhitches so that you can open it up and take this off. They have a fire regulator, they have a propane regulator in here, and I do have stones in here as well. My one thought, I bought one bag of stones in here. I think I'm going to buy another bag to put it in here, because I think that would help also in a little bit more heat retention. Just my thoughts from having used it once. It does throw off a lot of heat. I did like that. For the size of it, for a couple people, this is perfect. If you're looking for a big group, this would not be the unit to do it. but I liked it for the purposes I used it for. Again, the lid just pops in place there and easily locks down. So, what is that going on for right now on Amazon? Yes, so here we go. So the Ignik FireCan, and this is much less than what I bought it for, and I thought I had a good deal. It normally goes for $299.95. It's currently 25% off, so $224.96. You can get free 2-day delivery with this. So again, like the gas canister, if you order these together, you'll have them in a couple days. So if you have an upcoming trip coming, it shouldn't be a problem. I know we're in a warmer time of year, but in some areas of the country, it might still be cool at night. So nice maybe to have to temper things, or if you're just getting ready for the winter. And so folks, that's my roundup of 4 items that are currently on deal right now through Amazon. As I mentioned in my first video doing this, I share links with you that would just be associated with my sharing with Amazon. I make very little money on this. So if you choose to decide to buy it through my link, thank you. I appreciate that very much. If you don't, I understand. It just helps the channel and helps me promote content more for you. My reason for sharing this information out, though, is more from the facet of informing, as these are all items I use. I don't get endorsed by these companies. These are all items I've either bought or, as I mentioned, had as a gift from me, and that was from a relative, not from a company, to use for my stuff. So I hope you find this beneficial. If you did, please give a thumbs up. I always appreciate it. Leave a comment if you thought it was beneficial. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to see more of this content, that's very helpful to know. So leaving a comment will let me know that. And subscribe to the channel. I am trying to go at 500 subscribers this year. If you feel this information is useful, and if you've looked over some of my other videos, which if you haven't, please do. You might find some things of interest in here. It isn't all about Amazon. It's about building up the unit behind me. And again, that's me buying my stuff generally. I don't get endorsed by companies to do this. So it's me sharing real life experience in relation to the buildup of dangerous type back here. So I thank you for tuning in. Have an awesome day. July's kicking in. Happy July 4th if you celebrate. And till next time, have a great day.